What's up and welcome to another episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. Today we're unboxing the Aorus 15. This has a 240Hz display on it. It's got the newest Intel 9th Gen 9750H as well as an RTX 2070, and to top it all off, it only costs $21.99. One of the most affordable high power laptops. I can't wait to break this thing apart and check it out. Let's dive right into this. So this is going to be kind of an overview, first impressions. The only tests I'm going to do in this video is going to be running 3D Mark as well as Cinebench, maybe playing a couple of games, but we'll call it a day. This is basically going to be a preview for the full review that I'll be doing on this laptop very soon. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So overall, this box is tiny. Let's just take a look at what we got in the box. A very small portable power adapter, I gotta say. That's kind of cool considering how powerful the laptop is. What is this? Looks like we have a couple extra screws, I guess, in case you lose some. Warranty card. Here it is. That is very small overall profile for this laptop. Look at how tiny that is. This thing is minuscule, but very clean looking, very clean lines. On the right here we have a headphone mic combo jack, two USB 3 type A's. On the left we have a micro SD card slot. That's really disappointing that it's not a full-size SD card slot, I'm not gonna lie. Another USB type A, an Ethernet LAN port, a couple of status lights on the left there. And we've got a lot of ventilation. Big vent, big vent, big vent, big vent. That's a ton of ventilation. And on the bottom, look at how much intake we have here. Just massive mesh netting of intake here. You can actually kind of see some of the heat pipes in the bottom down there. I'm really curious to take the bottom off and see what we got going on inside there, but I suppose we should open it up as well. Voila! Ooh, that is a very clean looking laptop. Metal chassis here. Not a huge fan of the sticker. Wish that wasn't a thing. I really, really like this overall layout of this machine. Extremely compact, extremely portable, and yet it's just very premium feeling, especially for the money, only $21.99. I mean, obviously that's still an expensive laptop, but you compare that to something like the Razer Blade 15, and this thing is going to outperform the most expensive Razer Blade 15, and it's still just a very classy overall laptop and costs far less than something like the Razer Blade 15. Alright, time to get this thing plugged in and set up. The ports on the back, we've got a power port, the HDMI, a mini display port, and looks like a USB-C. No Thunderbolt indicator on there. Looks like we also have a Kensington Lock port. Taking off the sticker is not easy. While Windows is loading up, I'm going to go ahead and test the flex on the keyboard here. Looks like we got some flex. Pretty minimal overall. I'm pressing down really hard. On the display, just a little bit of torquing there. It's actually a little bit more torquing than I would love. Let's see the hinge. Yeah, it's a pretty sturdy hinge. It kind of sticks pretty well to wherever I put it. Just a little bit of wobble when I let go though. Okay, so one of the first things I'm really curious about is to see what the Cinebench score will be. So we got 1124 on our first run. Let's just make sure that we don't have anything else running in the background. Let's run it one more time now that I've double checked that. So 1115 that run. Well, now I'd like to just see what options I have with the CPU. Let's go ahead and just see what's happening with the processor. I'm guessing we're being power limit throttled or some kind of throttling is occurring. So let's go ahead and see what temps we get while we're running this. So we're getting some spikes up into the 90s. Looks like only on like 2 of the cores. That's really odd. Our average clock speed is only, I don't know, it's throttling down to about 3.2, 3.3 gigahertz right now. Okay, so taking a look here, we can see that we did not have any kind of undervolt on the chip before we got it. And we also have a power boost limit of 52 watts for our long power limit and 80 watts for our short. So we're going to increase this up to 80 watts. And then we're going to add an undervolt of minus 100 and see if it takes to that. So we're pulling 73 watts of power right now, 71, 72. We are hitting pretty high temps. We're also hitting constant 4 gigahertz now across all cores. This is good. This is really good. A lot better performance. 1216 that time in Cinebench. That's pretty good considering we have all these extra windows open. And I'm going to open the command center again and I'm going to just turn on max fans. Okay, so I went in here and turned on max fans. You can hear the fans ramped up a lot. Let's go ahead and try running this again. 1253 that time. That's a lot better score. It's a little bit disappointing, 19,500. I thought it would be higher than that. I believe they claimed 21,000 I'm going to try putting the RTX 2070 on the overclock setting here. Okay, so that is quite a bit better. You can see we've got a Firestrike score of 20,612. Okay, so you can see that we're running the 3D Mark physics test at the same time that we're running the Heaven benchmark. This is maxing out the GPU and CPU at above 90% usage, and it's really pushing the thermal limits of a chassis this thin and light. This is a rather unrealistic test. Very few games will ever take up this many resources or push the system this hard. So we'll get a good idea of kind of a worst case scenario for the laptop. Okay, so you can see that the CPU is doing something a little bit weird. We're getting two cores, core 2 and core 4 are hitting higher than average temperatures. The other cores are in the 80s. These two cores are like 94, 95 degrees currently. Which is really weird. It makes me wonder if the thermal paste needs to be redone or if it's an issue with just this particular CPU. I don't know. The big thing here though is that we are getting some throttling under this maximum possible load. We're still hitting 3.7 gigahertz on average for the CPU, which is pretty good, and the GPU is still boost clocking really well even under this dual load, and the GPU is having excellent temperatures, 73 degrees Celsius, even under this maximum dual load. So pretty impressive GPU temps. CPU temps though definitely could use some work here. We're definitely getting some thermal throttling because of these two cores that are heating up. I gotta say, impressed with the chassis overall, impressed with the performance overall. It is a little bit disappointing that we're seeing some thermal throttling from the CPU in my extreme stress test, though again, like I said, that's a very extreme stress test. I don't think you're gonna run into that level of load in like 99% of games. So very few games I think you're gonna run into any kind of throttling with this guy. Though I'll have to do some more testing. This again, I've only had the laptop for like 2 hours. Now I did do a bunch of driver updates on it, and it's still needing probably some more driver updates, so don't expect these results to be final. Since this is a review unit, I won't be able to repaste the CPU, but if it was my own, I would totally repaste it, and we would probably see that CPU throttling go bye-bye. It's hard to say though. Overall, my first impressions of this laptop are extremely positive. The trackpad is large and it tracks really well. It's very smooth using the 2-finger scrolling with it. The keyboard does feel good, but the layout is a little bit weird. I kept not hitting the backspace and hitting like these number keys instead. Overall, the keyboard does feel good. It does feel tactile. The backlight is on right now, but it's hard for me to see it even with the human eye. I wonder if there's a way to turn up the backlight brightness. I imagine at night it would not be a problem. It'd probably look really good at night in a dark environment. But that's just kind of my first impression, that a lot of these other laptops are coming out with keyboards that are a lot brighter. I guess that's one of the downsides of buying this one, because it is not as expensive as the other ones, so maybe that was one of the things they cut, is the brightness of the backlight on the keyboard. I don't know. Let me test the speakers really quick. Well, I gotta say the speakers are underwhelming. They're not that loud. The clarity is okay though. So that's my first impression of the Aorus 15. What do you guys think of this unboxing format? I'm trying to keep it like almost like an informal first impressions review type style. What other things might you want to see in this initial unboxing test? Let me know in the comments down below. Overall, pretty impressed with this, and I can't wait to do my full testing and full review on this machine. I'll see you guys in the next one. Brandon out.